afternoon at the dry cleaners. Everything the same. The same iron bars with the packages of clothing hanging, ready to be given over to the customer. The same old recycled wire hangers. The same old cash register that didn't work. Nothing more than a box with a bell. The same old ledger that Dave never really used. Just once in a while he scribbled a phone number over there. Dave appeared from the back of the store. "John, make some hangers." I made no sign of resistance. I didn't like this job of making hangers, but I knew that I had to do it. In one box was a pile of plain wire hangers. In another box was a pile of long, narrow cardboard strips. We called them stays. You had to place the stay over the bottom of the hanger and then fold it down. Now the hanger would hold on to a pair of pants. Without the stay, the pants would slide off the hanger. Making hangers wasn't hard work, but it was annoying. The stays cut your fingers. The worst part was the way the completed hangers were stored. As you made each hanger, you dropped it onto a kind of metal frame that stood on the floor. The more hangers you made, the closer they came to the top of the frame. But just when you thought you were making some real progress, Dave would come by and push the pile back toward the bottom of the frame. Now there would be plenty of room for more hangers, and plenty more work for you to do. Couldn't Dave just once walk by the hanger frame and not notice that the hangers were loosely packed? And maybe just once he could interrupt my hanger making with some other task and later forget all about the hangers? Well, I began to make some hangers. Fold the stay, grab a hanger, slide the stay onto the hanger, let the hanger fall gently to the bottom of the frame. Again and again, more and more hangers. The frame was about half full. This is when Dave would come by and push down the pile. But just then, Dave appeared from the back, holding 3 or 4 suits, already cleaned and pressed. "John, wrap these up and take them over to Ezio." This was good news. I could put aside the hangers and take a walk over to Ezio. He was a tailor a few blocks down Main Street who sent us dry cleaning work. Ezio might tip me for the delivery, and I could stop and buy a drink at the deli near his store. I put the suits onto the hook at the top of the long iron pole. From the overhead roller, I pulled down a length of clear plastic wrap and draped it over the suits. I tore off the bag at the perforation. I fastened the hangers at the top with a twist tie. I put on my coat and my hat, a Greek fisherman's cap that I used to wear. Out the door with the bundle for Ezio, past the split-rail fence in front of the train station. Tom Barnes was perched there as usual, as still and dignified as an owl. "Hey, kid, how you doing?" Tom drawled. "All right, Tom. Great," I answered. Past Dr. Kadam's office, where I'd had my eyes checked since I'd been in 3rd grade. Past the jewelry store, where a girl from my class sometimes helped her father. "Ezio's expert tailor," said the sign, along with a picture of a man in a tuxedo and a woman in an evening gown. Ezio was there, nattily dressed and talkative as always. I gave him the suits. He paid the bill of $19.25 with a $20 bill and told me to keep the change. Things were going according to plan. Now it was time to steal a minute or two of Davy's time with a quick stop at the little store near Ezio's. I picked out a small glass bottle of Tropicana orange juice. The bottle top was a little like the top of a beer bottle, but you didn't really need a special opener for these juice bottles. I stepped outside again and pulled up the collar of my coat. I twisted the bottle top as I walked. It was raining, and my hands were wet, so it wouldn't open. Should I go back to the store and ask the guy to use a bottle opener? Too embarrassing. Should I carry the bottle back to the cleaners and try opening it with a pair of pliers? What would Davy say? I kept on walking and twisting without success. I turned my back to the street, so that my hands would be out of the rain. I dried my hands on the insides of my coat pockets and gave a strong twist to the bottle cap. Voila! The deed was done. My back was still to the street when a voice called to me. "Excuse me, young man. Port Washington Police Force." The voice was polite but firm. I turned around and saw a uniformed officer. "We're investigating a bank robbery that occurred a little while ago at the Chemical Bank. The perpetrator was roughly your height and weight, and he wore a cap. Where have you been in the last hour?" Where have I been? Where would I have been? And what kind of crime would I have been committing? I've been working at the cleaners since 3 o'clock. Port Washington Cleaners, next to the station. I just made a delivery to the tailors over there. Was he going to believe me? Was he going to walk me back to the cleaners to see if Dave would back me up? Was he going to handcuff me? "Okay, I just want to take your name, address, and phone number." The officer scribbled my information in a leather-bound pad, said thank you, and walked away. I began walking back toward Dave's place. The rain was lighter now, hardly raining at all. Back past the jewelers. Back past the station. Back to the cleaners. I put Ezio's money in the register and sat down. Would the cops call home? Would they find me at school for questioning? Think about something else. Do something. Dave came in from the back. He pushed down the hangers. There would be a lot of hangers to make now, but this time I would not resent it. I'd learned my lesson. It's good sometimes to have something simple and boring to keep yourself busy.